everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. So, as was painfully obvious in Harry's witness statement, which I painstakingly read, Harry has no evidence of any phone tapping. The entire witness statement was here's an article he wrote about me in Chelsea. Here's how much the writers and photographers got paid £100 here, 75 pounds there. Harry feels it's suspicious, and they must have used illegal information gathering because he's suspicious because they got paid money for writing an article or taking a picture. So the whole thing was based on nothing but fluff. There's absolutely no evidence. Hi, Lydia. How are you? Hi, Jackie. So then this article looked interesting, and Harry even admits this in court when the very talented beast barrister asked him his article here, thanks to Sybil on Twitter. Barrister asked Harry, "Are you aware there is any evidence of hacking at all?" And Harry said no. So Harry goes to court with no evidence whatsoever. Prince Harry yesterday admitted to a judge that he was not aware of any evidence that he had been hacked by a tabloid news group. So what's he doing going to court with no evidence? Well, the black belt barrister pointed out that the real reason it looks like Harry went to court was obviously not because of any evidence of phone tapping, which he has none. It's very clear in his witness statement. And at the end of Harry's witness statement, remember, he claimed that any of the writers of these articles, these journalists who wrote these articles 20 years ago, he said, well, they're cowards if they don't come out and you know, testify in court. Because Harry's brave and he's doing it. So he was like egging them on, trying to instigate. It's like, why would Harry be instigating journalists who wrote articles 20 years ago? And apparently it's because journalists have it codified in law that they don't have to give up their sources of their stories. Because all these stories about Harry and whatever is always, and that Harry and Meghan write and publish with their PR is always, a source says, and we always say, well, it's probably Omen Scobie, it usually is. So it's like a source, insider says, whatever. And Harry wants to know who these sources are. He can't get it legally because journalists are protected. They don't have to give up their sources. But if Harry can get them into court to testify to try to get the sources from them. So basically, it's Harry trying to, you know, again, another attack on freedom of speech and freedom of the press. Harry's trying to um, get information that is against the law. They don't have to, by law, journalists don't have to give up their sources. And Harry's trying to weave his way around that by bullying them to court, accusing them of phone hacking with evidence that doesn't exist because there is no evidence. It's just Harry's big mouth accusing them to try to get them in there to try to get information that he's legally not allowed to get. So that's a base seems to appears to be the real reason for all of this because there's no evidence of phone hacking, and he admitted it in court to a judge. I mean, uh, it's always about attacking freedom of speech with Harry. At the end of the day, that's all it's about. Big thing. Him and Meghan and their globalist group. Anyways, but he said it would be an injustice. Harry said it would be an injustice if he was denied victory in his high court phone hacking case against publisher The Mirror. So Harry has no evidence. He goes to court for no evidence, but in his arrogance and entitlement says he should win anyways because he's Prince Harry. But just being Prince Harry doesn't mean anything. All the so-called people think that I have so many advantages as Prince Harry, but when I walk in a room, I don't know what people think of me. Give me a break. Andrew Green, Casey for Mirror Group newspapers, put it to the prince that he was in the land of speculation. That's a nice way of saying Harry's in the land of la la land, delusions and sanity. He said, "You're in the land of speculation, and there is no phone records to back up his allegations." During the second day in the witness box, At the Rolls building, Mr. Green asked him, "Are you aware of any evidence that gives any indication whatsoever as to the extent to which you were hacked at all?" Fifth in line to the throne replied, "No, that's part of the reason why I'm here, my lord." Oh, so Harry's hoping to get evidence. Well, that's not how you do it, Harry. See, why would Harry think that going to court would get him evidence? Oh, because he wanted to use court to bully the journalists to come in and testify and try to break the law and try to get their sources. That's what it's all about. Casey later said, quote, you're presumably aware that there's not a single item of cell data to your mobile phone at any time from any Mirror Group journalist." But Harry, who was far more bullish and confident than on his first faltering day in the witness box, shot back with a claim that the newspaper had destroyed vast amounts of evidence, including by using burner phones to hush up its wrongdoing. He's getting more paranoid now. I know what happened. They all used burner phones and they burned them up afterwards at a big bonfire. Harry appeared close to tears as he finished his historic day and a half in answering questions at the court. During a turbulent final few hours in the witness box, the Duke volunteered details of his checkered love life, including a trip to a strip club. But he hit out at hurtful and disturbing reports in the Mirror Group titles about the breakup of his relationship with his first love, Chelsea Davy, and accused the People newspaper of unlawfully accessing their phone records. But he has no proof of it, just accusations. Harry, the first senior royal to give courtroom testimony in 132 years, not a senior royal, it's just a royal, claimed he may have been phone hacked by Mirror newspaper on a quote daily basis over a period spanning 15 years from when he was a schoolboy at Eton. He claimed there was hard evidence to suggest an incredible amount of suspiciousness. Oh, there's no evidence to prove phone hacking, just for his suspiciousness. And he was hacked on an industrial scale, telling the trial judge, Mr. Justice Fancourt, that he would feel some injustice if his claim was not accepted. Harry maintained that stories in the People about him and Miss Davy were incredibly suspicious. Oh, not paranoid enough, because they quoted palace sources at a time when the young couple were being so careful that they never told the palace anything. Harry accused the newspaper of using attribution palace sources to cover up their true source of information, phone hacking. Now, Harry, the true source of the information could have been just paying somebody off at the airport that worked there and saw that her name on the flight list. No, everything's phone hacking with Harry. At one point, Mr. Green put it to him, quote, "So we're in the land of total speculation about whether this is voicemail interception." The Duke replied, "No, no, not at all." Mr. Green asked the Duke if he was aware that two of Miss Davy's friends had been disclosing information to the media. Oh, Chelsea's friends were talking. Quote, "I highly doubt that," said Harry. "Did you ask them, Harry? Why don't you bring them on the stand?" Oh, no, no, no. Harry doesn't want that. He only wants the media. He only wants the journalists to, to reveal their sources. The former soldier also rejected claims in one story that he had loved the army more than Miss Davy. That actually proves through his actions that she was there for 6 weeks and he didn't visit her once. That's supposedly his girlfriend that he's so in love with, and she was beautiful. So something's wrong there. I mean, you can just know by that one fact. It's like something's up. Any young man in his early 20s with a girlfriend like that, you're not going to be away for 6 weeks, especially when she's only what 50, 20 miles away. Come on now. And among several terse exchanges with Mr. Green, he claimed the Mirror articles were little. I go to the next part of the article here. Oh, is it here? I hope this is it. I thought this was the second part here. or littered. Okay, here's the bottom part. Were littered with inaccuracies, recounting one story alleging that Ms. Davy blew her top about his boozy visit to sleazy lap dancing club Spearmint Rhino. Spearmint Rhino. What a name. Oh my goodness, Harry. Harry said it was factually incorrect. Actually, that one of the girls they asked to dance naked was tall and statuesque blonde who bears more of a passing reference to Prince Harry's girlfriend, Kelsey Davy, adding, I'm just saying, my lord, that's not true. So, well, it's not true. It's still not phone hacking. He informed Mr. Justice Fancourt, I don't see any quotes from, let's see there. I don't see any quotes from the, I believe, Lithuanian lap dancer who sat on my lap. In his written witness statement made public on Tuesday, Harry wrote, I don't think Chelsea did go mad about me going there. We did speak about it over the phone, but I promised her that I hadn't had a lap dance. During this testimony, well, if he promised her he didn't have a lap dance, obviously it bothered her, right? During his testimony yesterday, Harry recounted an evening in London when a paparazzi photographer had tried to flee in his car when he and his police protection officers attempted to confront him. He claimed the photographer jumped a red light and drove on the wrong side of the road to get away, endangering everyone around them. So now Harry's talking about driving, which has nothing to do with his court case, by the way. Harry claimed, quote, he decided to evade. It was always about dangerous driving with Harry and Meghan, right? First, they just had a near catastrophic car chase. And now Harry's talking about this paparazzo is endangering everyone. Never mind, Harry and Meghan endangered New Yorkers by blocking police who were trying to get to an emergency, right? They're the ones who are endangering people. But Harry's little made up story here from his imagination was a photographer he claims went through a red light and drove on the wrong side of the road. Uh-huh. About that. And if Harry had police officers with them, why didn't they arrest him? Oh, because it didn't happen. Okay. He claimed it jumped a red light, blah, blah. Harry claimed, quote, he decided to evade police that is not normal pet behavior. Well, Harry's the expert on what's normal behavior now. He's so paranoid. We believe there was an illegal device in his car. Oh, so now this imaginary scenario with a pap plowing through red lights on the wrong side of the road, they must have had an illegal device in his car. A phone hacking device. Burner phones. Must have been the car with all the mirror burner phones. He drove away like a madman and burned them up. I mean, wow, when you get paranoid, like it just never ends, does it? It's like nonstop. Later that night, when Harry's going to sleep, he could hear that the paparazzi were outside his window taunting him, right? I mean, it's because you just go on and on and on, you know. The 38-year-old Duke's evidence was far more assured than during the first day in the witness box when he struggled to justify his hacking claims and repeatedly seemed unaware that articles he believed were from hacking were actually just follow ups from other publications and the BBC or other official palace statements. And in one case, an interview he himself had given. I mean, this is how sloppy his case is. This is really bad. This whole thing is just a mess. They actually went to court with this mess. See, only the arrogance of a prince to go to court with this mess of a case with absolutely no evidence, slapping things together, when it's quite quickly proven that every article Harry mentioned in his witness statement was already published somewhere else, and they just copied it, which is exactly what they do. They always copy each other, the articles. That's why you see it, one article in 20 different versions. And even Harry himself said, it came from one of his interviews. Pressed further yesterday, he confessed that he was not aware that a Sunday Mirror story about his split from Miss Davy had actually been broken previously by the News of the World newspaper. An honest story about him openly cavorting with a blonde friend at Twickenham, he admitted he was not aware its contacts had come from Press Association News Agency the day before. Duke, who has previously denied collaborating with royal author Omid Scobie, yeah, don't forget that Harry lied about that too, on a gushing biography, Finding Freebies, was asked if he knew Mr. Scobie. Harry replied, "Yes, I do," before hastily adding, "I know of him." Oh, yes, I do know Omid. I know of him. Oh, you know him a lot better than that. He's at your house right now visiting Meghan. Do I need to pull up the pictures? I think we need to pull up the pictures. Let's just real quick. Scobie is with Meghan Markle right now in let me see. He actually his account, you're not gonna believe this. I couldn't believe this when I saw this. Scobie Snap. Right? You know, like Scooby Doo has Scooby Snacks. Harry has Scobie Snaps. So he's playing on the Scooby Dooby Doo thing. So it says Scooby Snacks, it's Scobie Snaps, right? So here's Scobie, his latest picture. He puts pictures, he thinks he's a celebrity. He's in California right now visiting Meghan. He's with Meghan right now while this trial is going on. So instead of Meghan being with Harry, her beloved husband that she loves so much, not. So Harry says he knows of Scobie, who's staying at his house right now in California. Well, he's probably, well, according to this, he's at a hotel here, but Meghan took him to Nobu. See, there's a picture over here of Nobu. There's he driving, and Scobie took a private jet. That looks like a private jet to me. That's not commercial travel there. Yeah, and Megan took him to Nobu because Megan loves to eat there. So Scobie is staying at his mansion in Montecito right now. Harry just knows of him. Oh yeah, he's just sleeping with my wife now. He's not sleeping with Megan. We know that Scobie is as asexual as they come. So yeah, he knows of him. He's just sleeping in my bed right now. The Mirror Group denies all the claims, and the case is expected to last 7 weeks. 7 weeks for this nonsense and no evidence in Harry's delusions. Oh my goodness. With Harry's case now finished, it's around halfway through. Two Coronation Street soap stars and the ex wife of comedian Paul Whitehouse are also bringing up cases against the publisher. Well, I've only read Harry's witness statement, so Harry doesn't have a case at all, but maybe these other two do. I don't know. I want to look at Harry's lawyer and say, what the hell is he thinking? Like others have said, like Avid Gardner said, like she can't believe that his lawyer would actually bring this case to court. It's so embarrassing. There's nothing to it. There's no case here. There's nothing there. There's no evidence. And Harry gets up in the witness box and says, "Yeah, no, I don't have any evidence, but I'm suspicious. And I had a dream last night, and I spoke to my mother, and I smoked some magic mushroom. Oh, no, I didn't smoke magic mushrooms. I ingested some magic mushrooms, and my blue todger told me that they're hacking me now. So let's look at his lawyer and see what the heck was going on here. Yeah, the veil's lifted. Harry sees things much more clearly on magic mushrooms. So you got to take magic mushrooms to understand Harry's evidence. This case doesn't make any sense, but you take some magic mushrooms, the veil will be lifted, and your windshield wipers will clear everything off, and you'll be like, "Oh, I get it now. Yeah, there was phone hacking." Oh my gosh, he better never be king. He is too crazy to destroy. He'll destroy the monarchy. The monarchy will definitely be abolished if Harry takes over. But anyways, let's talk about his lawyer. What the heck was Harry's lawyer thinking? Besides making a ton of money. I mean, this is Sherborne should be embarrassed. He's taking these insane people to court. What he should be doing is asking the judge to get Harry, into a rubber room somewhere. In my opinion. Anyways, he knows of Omid. You gotta be kidding me. He's emailing Omid Scobie with what's his name? His former communications secretary, Jason Knauf. Oh my goodness. All right, what is Harry's lawyer thinking? I've already shuffled the cards. I'm gonna split the deck. What was Harry's lawyer's thinking? Let's see. The cards will show. I mean, I think this looks really bad for Sherborne, personally. To take this nothing case. Maybe he's just doing it for publicity, and they're trying to get the illegally try to get sources from the journalists. So that's his major attitude. Seven of Cups. A lot of pressure here. A lot of things going on. A lot of different things on his mind with this court. What's really going on surrounding him? Oh, Temperance. Temperance. Working very closely with Harry and his delusions. Yeah, I think that he's thinking he's going to try to help at the end of the day. This may help get Harry some help by exposing his craziness. Because when you've got somebody as wealthy and powerful as Harry, and he is powerful. He's working with George Soros and Bill Gates and everyone. He's power. He's got power there. Queen of Swords on bottom of the deck. At the end of the day, it all ends with Megain, who wants to be queen. We all know that. Megain's the wannabe lawyer here. So I'm getting that Sherborne's thinking. I'm getting cups and temperance here, which is interesting because in Chelsea's reading yesterday, I got temperance reversed, and so I'm thinking that Sherborne is like he realizes Harry's got all these delusions, and that the only way to get someone like Harry help is to just expose it in a courtroom, and that way, this is all on record. It's all from Harry's mouth, and it's very difficult when somebody's got mental issues from what I understand. I don't know firsthand, but from what I've heard in other situations, people I know been in, when you got an adult, you can't just. It's very difficult to get them the help they need, and Harry is. And I think that Sherborne's thinking, well, if I go through this case for delusional Harry here with his fantasies of phone hacking and whatnot, and if I go through and work with him on this, perhaps he'll get the help he needs. This will result in him getting the help he needs. So I do see a positive. I don't see it simply being trying to make a buck here. But let's see, at the end of it all, is it really about making a buck? Oh, justice. Hmm. So I do think that he feels that he will get some, this is a court card, this is a justice card, but it's also a major arcana, so a group. So I think Sherborne is working with others in the justice system, and they think that this will lead to the type of outcome that they want and what they're looking for. And perhaps Sherborne is working towards attacking freedom of speech with Harry. Harry may be at the forefront of this attack on freedom of speech, but he has a lot of backing. Again, he works at the Aspen Institute. Everyone at the Aspen Institute is against freedom of speech. They desperately want to bring in this, and they have brought in this surveillance and misinformation boards and wanting the Orwellian, you know, misinformation, apparatus set up to censor anyone. So this is a much, Harry is part of a much larger group who are using the court systems against us and trying to overturn our rights via the court system through corrupt court systems. So depending on how fan court comes out, I don't know how legit or what, because remember Harry is in a very powerful Masonic satanic group, and Fancourt and Sherborne could be a part of it. So this could all just be an orchestrated thing working together. Hmm. So why did he decide to take this case with Harry, this fake phone hacking case? Four of Swords reversed. Harry, the ex-warrior. Harry is still upset that he lost his military roles, so he's very angry. This is all about the queen wouldn't let them be half in, half out because Meghan and Harry were supposed to, in their plan, to stay in the royal family half in, half out, and Meghan was going to be progressive, which is, code word for communist Marxist, bringing in tyranny, and they didn't get that. And Harry is still very upset that his military um, so that's why it was so important in his witness statement to mention, I got the highest grade getting into Sandringham, right? No, not Sandringham, Sandhurst, right? Harry wanted to make sure you knew that every story in his witness statement, this was basically a PR puff piece, and Harry wanted to put it out there. I was in the military. I got the highest accolades, but I was still upset that the press wrote about it. Poor me. They were just setting me up to knock me down again. So what do they call that? Humble bragging, right? So he's still angry about that. So he's being vengeful for sure. and he's, now working. He's like, "All right." He's like, "All right, if you're gonna take my military titles away, I'm gonna destroy you. I'm going to attack you, and I'm going to do it by embarrassing you and taking journalists to court, attacking freedom of speech, and making it seem like I'm, doing something good for humanity, but really he's doing this. He knows how embarrassing this is for the royal family, and that the royal family is totally against this whole court case and nonsense and embarrassment. Yeah. Harry's very angry. He's like, Harry was very insistent on trying to get revenge with the court systems. So what's Sherborne expecting? And of course, Harry's being egged on by Meghan over here, Meghan and Doria. What's Sherborne expecting from all this? And wah, wah. Yeah, I don't think he expects a win unless, the cabal, the apparatus for corruption is in place, satanic group. But if not, this doesn't look like it's going to go well. It's going to be big publicity, of course, Four of Wands, but it's going to be a lot of negative attention, right? But Harry and Meghan are all for negative attention because they love instigating people and upsetting them and doing things to instigate people, like naming their children Archie and Lilibet, right? So they purposely do this kind of thing to get attention and get people riled up. And then Harry and Meghan turn around and say, "You shouldn't have freedom of speech to criticize us and deplatform you and whatnot." Have their Sussex squad and Omid Scobie attack you. So he knows of Omid. You gotta be kidding us, Harry. Has Omid staying at his house right now. Anyways, yeah, so he doesn't think it's gonna go well. He knows there's gonna be a lot of criticisms online and that this is destabilizing of the royal family. I mean, this could be seen as a royal family being destabilized as well, and the structures of journalism, attacking journalists like this in the court and wasting the court's time with this nonsense, putting on a stupid show of nonsense. This is a play. They're just putting on a play here for everyone. So what does Sherborne most not want or most afraid of? Oh, Ace of Cups. Yeah, being poisoned. I think Sherborne's worried that if he didn't take this case, that Harry's gonna OD or something, because he knows that Harry is doing too much drinking, too much, and Harry is, and he's afraid that Harry's. This is also a card of like craziness, just like very Harry. All this whole case for Harry is all about emotion, right? Harry's upset. He lost his first girlfriend that he loved, Chelsea Davy, who was the best looking girlfriend he ever had, and he lost his military titles and he got the highest, grades there, the best. That was the highlight of his life. So Harry is so passionate about this. So, and he knows that, drinking his troubles away aren't working. So he's going to court over it. And so it's so obvious that Harry is drinking too much and whatever, indulging too much in drugs. So this is like drugs, it's like taking too many drugs, too high all the time. So what is he hoping for with this case? Oh, the sun. So hoping for publicity, hoping to, he enjoys, I think Sherborne enjoys being in the media, being in a top case. More publicity he gets, the more prominent clients he gets. And they do have other people on this court case besides Harry. So, we'll see what kind of cases they have. I haven't read their witness statements. I'm not going to, I don't think. We'll see. But Harry has absolutely no evidence. So, uh, yeah, so he's hoping to get some more prominence, Sherborne. He's hoping to get more media attention here for himself. Because at the end of the day, it's not Sherborne's case. He's not the one embarrassing himself in the stand. He's just representing a member of the royal family, which is a very prominent thing for him, makes him look good. hmm So how does Sherborne see Harry? How does he really see him? Ah, Nine of Pentacles. Yeah, so he sees him as a money bag. It's like, all right, Harry, pay me for this, pay me for that. You know how lawyers are. $500 an hour. Every time they send a fax, it's another $100. Every time they send a text, another $100. So yeah, cha-ching, cha-ching. He sees Harry and Meghan as money bags. Like, give me the money. So there's the money. He's definitely, about getting the money, getting more money, using this story to get more publicity, to using their Netflix and make more money. Yeah. That's all. That's all Harry and Meghan are to him. Of course, that's all they need to be, right? It's his job. Is it not? It's a relationship, right? So how does Sherborne feel things have been going in court? Wah, wah. Nine of Cups reversed. Yeah, so Harry's delusions and overactive paranoia is and arrogance is on full display, and it's showing, and it doesn't look good. His arrogance over the top, and his self-destruction going on, and not getting his wish. Also, not a wish card, so not going well at all. It's exactly what he feared happening. Harry's indulgences and over irrational emotions are coming to the fore, and it's embarrassing. And there's nothing Sherborne can do because you got to put them on the stand and hope for the best. Give him some advice, and that's it. And Harry is failing. Harry is arguing with the other, the solicitor there, the person asking the questions, the lawyer there. Harry's fumbling left and right. He actually admits he has no evidence. I mean, that sinks his case right there. Now, again, if this is a legit court that's not corrupted, then Harry should lose the case right then and there for admitting he has no evidence. But of course, this is, you know, the court system that's two different tiers, two different court systems going on. One for the satanic, Masonic, wealthy Harry, Meghan, and the rest, and politicians, and then another one for us. See, if it were us that went to court over something like this, it would have been thrown out a long time ago. But it's Prince Harry who gets this. So, in the long term, how's this going to end up? Wah, wah, wah. Yeah, not looking good. He knows this is going to be a disaster. Naturally, Harry and Meghan are not going to be able to make money from this. I think they're losing more and more, that they're on the outs more and more. They're going to be struggling. Not struggling, they're multimillionaires. They'll always be very wealthy and taken care of. But from their perspective, they're not going to be able to monetize this and to get all kinds of support and make more money from this as Kardashians. The Kardashian dreams are of Meghan and Harry, because of course Meghan is main impetus behind all this. Yeah, it's going away, and I think Sherborne's, this is going to be one of his last cases with Harry. I think because the way Harry's going down a downward spiral here in drug use and delusion, it's not going to end well for him, and you know. The way Harry's going, it's not gonna end if he doesn't get some help. And they say you gotta reach rock bottom first. Well, I see rock bottom coming. Rock bottom, maybe, divorce or something, I guess, next. But that will definitely clear out a lot of Harry's income for sure. So that'll be the next chapter, but of course, probably not happening for a while, not until Megane's good and ready. But yeah, so Sherborne is confident that he is a top lawyer, and that this he d- I don't, he's pretending to be trying to help Harry here, and maybe he is to a certain extent, but uh, Harry's so delusional and insistent on doing this that he's like, okay, if you really want to do this, but what a disaster. And for Harry to say it's an injustice if he loses. I mean, this is how delusional, and this is basically Harry epitomizes in many ways the whole leftist movement, this craziness, this insanity they're trying to push on everyone. They're shoving it on everyone. Harry's trying to shove his insanity into a courtroom and trying to upend the laws with his insanity. And that seems to be a theme of the left and communist Marxists, BLM, Antifa, Aspen Institute, George Soros group, globalist group, just being crazy. Everything crazy, and being drugged up and crazy, which Harry is. He's the king of crazy, is what Harry is. King of paranoia and delusion. All right, so that is what I have for you today. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you liked it, please like and subscribe. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Bye bye. Thanks for